Danse Anin, everybody, and welcome to the Lighting the Fire Luncheon Entertainment Hour. Minagisigaw, it's a beautiful day, Joykeeper Dishnakas, and I'm really happy to be hosting the last day for our luncheon entertainment. But before I announce our guest today, I just wanted to let you have a teaser look at the TikTok videos. As you know, there was a TikTok challenge, and I also want to remind you to watch the full videos and watch our submissions. You can look at all of them on TikTok at MFNERC and follow the hashtag LTF 2021. So I will let the video roll. I think there was a technical difficulty, and you guys were all watching me moving my mouth. But I wanted to welcome you all again. This is our third and final day of the Lighting the Fire conference. I wanted to thank all of our keynote speakers these last 3 days. I want to thank all of you viewers who have been tuning in, all of our performers, and for this last day of our luncheon entertainment, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Winston Wetchney. He's a renowned Cree entertainer and respected elder. Dr. Wetchney's songs carry strong message of cultural pride to help his people through difficult situations such as suicide, lost identity, drug and alcohol abuse. He also has beautiful songs that I used to play for my children when they were growing up. Storytelling is his method of reaching out and sharing traditional knowledge and the Cree language. Dr. Wetchney is the proud recipient of the 2013 Inspire Award for Culture, Heritage, and Spirituality. He received an honorary doctorate from the University of Manitoba in 2019. Dr. Wetchney is originally from Eagle Hills, Saskatchewan, and he has been a guest to our events over the years, bringing wonderful messages, powerful stories, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you Winston Wetchney. Welcome.
Hi. Tawen Sims. It is so nice to see you, and you're looking so good, and thank you for the beautiful introduction. The first song that I'm going to sing was written by an old grandmother up in Timmins, Ontario. And she wrote me a letter, and she said, Winston, she said, my children do not speak Cree. They can't even understand a word. Maybe they speak 2 or 3 words. Do you think you can help them? And I would like you to write a song about them. She said, you maybe sing this song or just stay right on this song. So I listened to that song. I let my band hear, and the bass guitar player came up with a good melody and a good rhythm and good song. You put something good to it. Here it is then. It says, hey ya, nino, 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 hey ya, nino. Ni tata tasine nisiwe ne kamoya tasine nisiwe metaji tata ani maji taskina heya heya neno heya neno heya neno heya neno heya neno. Hey, I know. Ni when ni tata tasine nisiwe kamoyak Tasine nisiwe nachi Itata anin washik Kitaskina heya Heya nendo Heya heya nendo Heya heya nendo Heya heya nendo Heya nendo Heya nendo Tata tasine nisiwe ine kamoyak tasine nisiwe menachi itata alinwa shikitaskina heya heya nendo heya heya nendo heya heya nendo heya heya nendo heya nendo Well, that's a real peppy song, and thanks to my bass guitar player, Richard Dennis Chuck, he made that bass line in there. It just figured it out really good. Now, here's another song. This one is called Masenji. Masenji. Tawemana Masenji. Tininiwasin Masenji. It's a very good song. And it talks about all the people that are on the streets and how they're feeling. And so I wrote that song for them. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. I know why you feel sad. You don't want to smile. I surely will not judge you before I walk a mile in your moccasins. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Hey, I know why you are scared, why you can't even smile. Don't worry about it, we all have those days. We keep on going for a while. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Hey, I know you look so poor. Don't you even cry. My heart always goes out to you. I always don't look sour. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Come on, Dad, now come on, Mom. So make fun no home. I know your heart is breaking in two. Don't you worry, we're looking out for you. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 hey. Masenji, 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 hey, 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 Masenji. Oh, thank you. That's a beautiful song. I love singing that song because I always try. There's some in Winnipeg here. When somebody asks for money to help somebody, we all put in money. And one night, Billy Joe Green, he saw a guy sneaking around his house, and he went around and caught him at night. And he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm just looking for a warm place to sleep." He said, "Don't you have a coat?" "No, I just got this." He said, "You got no other coat?" No. Anyway, he put it online immediately. I think within that night he had about $3,500. So they bought a whole bunch of sleeping bags and coats and mitts and gloves and socks and long johns and everything like that. And they put those out all over the place. So if you need help, we are here. We are available. We still know how to share, because long time ago, when we lived here on this earth, we used to share all the time. That's how we lived. We shared. And so today we still have that. We still share. Now, for all you young women with babies, we have a nice song here for you, okay? This was written by Edmund Gold. It is a beautiful song. All the songs that Edmund Gold writes, they're quickly used all over Canada because he's very well known as a good songwriter. Rock-a-bye, my little baby, way up high up in the treetop. You can feel the breeze blowing through the tree. Sleep, baby, sleep, way up high. Way up high, way up high. Rock-a-bye, my little baby, way up high up in the treetop. You can see the eagle flying round in circles. Sleep, baby, sleep, way ahead, way ahead, way out, way out, way out, way out, way out, rock-a-bye, my little baby, way up high up in that treetop. You can feel the breeze blowing through the trees. Sleep, baby, sleep, way ahead, way ahead. Thank you, Edmund Bull. You always write such beautiful music. And you know, right now there's a movement going on in the Indian community. We want to be better ancestors. Today, we have to start working on being better ancestors. In other words, that means doing all the good things that our grandparents used to do, sharing, caring, visiting, eating with people, our own people, giving them presents, just looking out in a good way for all our people. So here I want to give you this little piece of wisdom that was given to me. If your father is doing well, you will do well. If your grandfather is doing well, you will do well. When you're a man, if your mother is doing well, you will do well. If your grandmother is doing well, you will do well. So what that brings me to is this. My father was a hard worker. He always made money to support the family. And when nistamina, I work very hard, nista, and I always make money to support my family. And so I was talking to Edmund Bull the other day, and I asked him, Edmund, I said, who do you know who wrote that song, Waniska? Yeah, he said, Nimushum. He said, my grandfather wrote that. Edmund, I said, that's why you're such a good singer. Your grandfather wrote that song. And he said, yes. So now Robert Willett is now started up the Blue Quilts College. It is now a university. And so we talked, and I said, you know what? I said, it's about time that we had degrees in Indian music. And he said, yes. He said, I agree with you. I said, I am going to present Edmund Bull as one of the native singers that should have a degree in Indian music. Nehio Muchigan. In Nehio music. And Edmund is just the perfect fit. I know that one other lady in the West, Dr. Darlene Auger, she got her doctorate in Wipinasun, in the swinging of the baby crib, and the baby, not the crib, but the bag, Wipinasun. And she got that, and she presented all the material at a university, and they actually gave her a degree for that because she had everything all right in it, like what she did. And Val Napoleon at the University of Victoria, she's done some really good work too, and she teaches native language there. And she also has a degree for work in native languages and customs and stuff like that. So you know what? We can just do whatever we want. I never ever thought I would be a doctor of letters, but here I am, a doctor of letters. And it was just given to me a couple of years ago, and I felt so proud. So when my daughter, Rachel, when she got her master's, I was down there in Vancouver in my cap and gown, and I gave her a little congratulations speech. And everybody afterwards, who was that man, that white-haired man? She said, that's my father, Dr. Winston Watney. Now, I know that I have friends all over Canada, and I hope some of them are watching because they know me as a comedian, most of the time as a comedian and as a singer. But that's one time I want them to know, if you just be yourself, good things will happen to you. And I know that many of you have already experienced that. Now, Joy just said she used to listen to me sing songs. And one of those songs went like this, called Daddy's Not My Friend. Because my little boy, Stefan, he was mad at me one time because I wouldn't go outside and play with him. And he said, Daddy, how come you won't come outside and play with me? Son, I said, I've got a big show tonight on CBC, and it's from Quebec. There's a song written by Gilles Vigneault. I'm going to be singing that, and I've got to practice it. The guitar work is very hard. It's a beautiful song, and it's all about us, an Indian that fell in love with a white girl down, and then the parents, they sent her to a convent, and he was so sad, he went and he fell in the river on purpose. And to this day, there's black spots on the birch tree. That's what he talked about in that song. And I sang that song on CBC, and Gilles Vigneault, he was there singing too on the same program. And when I sang his song, he said, Oi, Winston, tu chantes ça bien mieux que je chante ça. I speak French too, eh? And so I said, thank you, Gilles, that is a real compliment. So anyway, this little song here, it's sung Joy, and so thousands of women like Joy with thousands of children like hers, they all know this song, and it's very simple. Anyway, that night when it was getting late, I did write the song, and I wrote it for Stefan and Eric. And it said, Daddy's not my friend, yeah, 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 yeah. I like mommy better, yeah, 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 yeah. So it's just a cute little song won't you let me sing my song? Daddy, won't you let me play guitar? Daddy, won't you let me play guitar? Daddy's not my friend. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like mommy better. Yeah, 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 yeah. Daddy, won't you let me sing my song? I just want to breeze up the street. Hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. If you let me play guitar, I'll be your second voice. I'll sing up high and I'll sing down low in song. We could rejoice. Daddy, won't you let me play guitar? Daddy, won't you let me sing my song? Daddy, won't you let me play guitar? Daddy's not my friend. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like mommy better. Yeah, 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 yeah. Daddy, won't you let me sing my song? I just want to breeze up the street. Hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. If you let me sing my song, I'll sing along with you. I'll sing all over this whole world. I will be so true. Daddy, won't you let me sing my song? Daddy, won't you let me play guitar? Daddy, won't you let me play guitar? Daddy's not my friend. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like mommy better. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, Daddy, don't look so worried. Oh, I guess I like you too. Daddy, won't you let me sing my song? I just want to grease up the string. Hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. And that's a little song that Joy was talking about. And so I wrote lots of those little kind of songs, lots of those funny little songs. But here's one that all the old people know this song. And maybe some of the young people do too. I wish I had a fiddle here. I'd play the fiddle while somebody played my guitar. But we're leaving right after, so I didn't have time to call anybody. Here it is here. Kispin kasagin se makawicewin. Kispin kasagin se makotsimin. Ha 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 muchikan. Ke tompe to detak. Ke witag na siwakan. Tako sinama eko. Na pese se wapan. Esquese sai ochim. Otena ke witotea. Kamu chikitan down. Ha ha muchikan. Ke tompe to detak. Ke witag na siwakan. Tako sinama eko. Kispin kasagin se makuichewin. Kispin kasagin se makochimin ya. Ha 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 ha. Hey 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 ha. Hoo 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 hoo. Hey hey ha da da da. That means it's been a long time since I've loved you. So why don't you come and sit over here and give me a little Utsimin. Anyway, that song is known all across Canada, but I think by every tribe they sing some version of that. Kispin, Kisagi, Hitin. It means it's been a long time since I love you. Now, here is another song that is written by Victoria Francis from. I'll sing you this song because a lot of you know this song. Nenesto sin, kono, te kiwean. Nenesto sin, wahaya, haya, hon. Wahaya, haya, hon. Ne wiki wan kin sota wen. Ne wiki wan kin sota wen. Ne wiki wan, wahaya, haya, hon. Wahaya, haya, hon. Ne wiki wan itim Moses. Kawin tame tawana now. Tamuti kan kisas nege. Wahaya, haya, hon. Wahaya, haya, hon. Yo, hello, the next to sin, wow. Nenesto sin, kono, te kiwean. Nenesto sin, Wahaya, haya, haya, ho. Wahaya, haya, haya, ho. Esto se me wiki one, kikawa pa me tinki tom, iki siki pakage. Wahaya, haya, haya, ho. Wahaya, haya, haya, ho. Wahaya, haya, haya, ho. Now, I think that is 25 minutes, but I'm just going to sneak this in, okay? Well, my old lady's a bingo maniac. She plays bingo every night. While I stay home and babysit and try not to get uptight. When the bingo gals pull round to the door, we all get left behind. And bingo drives me crazy and it leaves me kind of lazy and it's driving me right out of my mind. Come on, you gal, bingo guys. Pull on your suits and drive your crazy cars. 'Cause everyone's gonna win tonight. Yes, everyone's a winner till some bugger hollers bingo, then you have to play again tomorrow night. Yeah, everyone's a winner till some bugger hollers bingo, then you have to play again tomorrow night. So I just had time to do the first verse, but that's how it goes. So I've got 20 minutes. So thank you very much for listening to me. Kisagitin kakyo awya yegotamana. Oh, top whistle. Bye-bye. Until the next time. Have a good conference.
Thank you so much, Winston. It meant so much for you to be a part of Lighting the Fire, even though it's virtual. We're always so grateful to have you here.
Hi. It seems.
And for all of you who are watching, I know you didn't get to see exactly what I was saying last time, but I wanted to let you know that we had the TikTok challenge this year for Lighting the Fire. Of course, everything is virtual. And to watch the full videos and watch our submissions, you can go to @MFNERC on TikTok and follow hashtag LTF2021. Now, I know I promised to announce the winners of the 3 cards. So the gift cards, so that would be Sandra Hurd, Donna Graham, and Leonila Padua. And so those are the winner of our gift cards. I'm hoping that you'll all stay for closing ceremonies when the iPad and computer will be announced as well. But I also wanted to let you all know about these amazing Gator Bolio gifts that he was going to give to us when he performed the other day, but he didn't have them available. But we're going to be announcing them also on social media, on our Facebook, and we just are sad to be saying goodbye for the day 3 of Lighting the Fire, but we hope you all had a great time. We had a lot of great workshops. But as I said, we have one more, I won't say entertainer, but I'll say a fun workshop that's coming up, 20-minute workshop. And then we have closing ceremonies at 1 o'clock, once again hosted by Tina Keeper. And the lady that I am going to be announcing is a woman who is from an organization that has been with us for so many years. I think they were with us right from the beginning. And that's HeartSmart, and it's 25th anniversary. Amanda Nash is going to be doing a little workshop right now called HeartSmart Kids. It's a heart and stroke free program designed to help educators enhance lessons related to holistic health behaviors with information on nutrition, physical activity, screen time, nature, mindfulness, and more. This 20-minute information session will provide an overview of the program and information on registering and ordering free activity books for your students. So that's great. We always like free, don't we? So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Amanda Nash. Hi, Amanda. We can't hear you. Yeah, you just
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. So great to have you. Thank you so much. It's been such a powerful 3 days and all about student wellness, all about health, spiritual health, physical, emotional, mental health. And I know that, one of the big things with the heart, with blood pressure, with is related to stress. It's one of the number one, fundamentals about looking after ourselves, isn't it?
Definitely. So hopefully today we can share a little bit of information for us as educators and adults to help manage our stress through lifestyle, but also just your whole theme about student well-being and balancing the heart, the mind, the body, and the spirit really encompasses what's in these activity books for our kids to help them get through this unfortunate situation, pandemic that we're in, and continue to do what's right for their bodies.
Well, I'm going to let you take over, Amanda, but we'll see you after.
Thank you. Okay, before we get started and actually really dive into the program, I wanted to start by acknowledging the land that I am presenting from today. So I'm based here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So as we know, Winnipeg is Treaty 1 territory, original land of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene people, and homeland of the Métis Nation. So by sharing this acknowledgement with you today, I want to highlight my commitment to reconciliation and increasing awareness about Indigenous history and perspectives. Art and Stroke respects the treaties that were made. We acknowledge the past, and we are dedicated to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities. And with that said, I really also wanted to thank MFNERC, Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Council, for all of the amazing support and partnership that we've had over the years. I think that we have a beautiful partnership, and I'm so pleased and honored to be here today to spend the next 20 minutes with you to talk about our Heart Smart Kids program. And also, as mentioned, it's really exciting. This is our 25th year of the program across Canada. So this program initiated in BC. It only did come to Manitoba about 3 years ago with great support and help from some of the amazing colleagues with MFNREC. So we really wanted to thank you for that and the success we've had in Manitoba. Although it's only been here for 3 years, with 25 years in BC, we want to celebrate that. And so we do have a draw happening for all educators who have used the program, are currently using the program, or will register to use the program by the end of May. So keep posted and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But I'll just ask if I have some slides I'd like to share as well. Can we bring those slides up onto the screen? Wonderful, thank you so much. So we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so Heart Smart Kids is an activity book that's totally free to you. So it's an activity book that helps to build a heart healthy community in your school. It's a hard copy colored book full of activities for the students to use either in the classroom or in the home learning environment, which really helps us right now. One less stressful thing to worry about as we transition from home to school with our current environment in the pandemic. It enhances the health lessons that you're already teaching. So we know educators are doing such a great job, and we at Heart and Stroke want to help support you to enhance those lessons with some fun and effective approaches that can help children to make the healthy choice and guide them throughout their life, really, again, balancing the heart, the mind, the body, and the spirit. Next slide, please. So the program is free, it's fun, and it's effective. Again, it's been used here in Manitoba over the past 3 years for Indigenous schools to help enhance the lessons that they're already teaching. There's 3 different books from grade kindergarten till grade 6 that can help you with those lessons that you're doing in fun, interactive ways. And we've had wonderful feedback from both educators and students here in Manitoba. In fact, one student told me that receiving this colored, glossy book felt like it was a Christmas present. So it's really great to hear that the students are really enjoying this. And it helps educators, instead of using photocopies and black and white print offs, you can give something to your students that's really engaging and colorful and perforated pages, so you can rip them out and use them in different contexts as well. Currently in Manitoba, we have about 90 educators using this. So some of you watching right now, maybe you already do use the program, and I thank you so much. And please feel free to reach out anytime and share your feedback. Every year, we're looking at the book and revising the book to make it stronger and better to meet your needs. For example, this year, we're going to be adding more information around the use of vaping. So in our Air You Breathe section around tobacco use, traditional and commercial tobacco, we're also going to enhance that with information about vaping and e-cigarettes. We're also always adding more language to the books. We recognize that it's one of our limitations that we can't translate these books into the Indigenous languages across Canada. There's just, with over 50 different languages, it's not possible for us to do that. But we encourage educators to bring the language from your community into the book. And we try to support that by putting little bubbles of different languages across. So we're really working to enhance that. And if you have any suggestions, any things that you'd like to see, please, again, reach out, and I'd love to hear your feedback to make this program better and more useful for you. Next slide, please. Okay, so like I said, there's 3 different books. So we have the book for kindergarten to grade 1 students. We have a book for grade 2 to 3 students, and a book for 4 to 6 students. But I will let you know that I have heard of the K to 1 book being used with nursery students, and I have heard of the grade 4 to 6 book being used with grade 7 students. So again, as an educator, we really encourage you to use this booklet as you see fit. It's a tool for you to help with your students. Within the books, there's multiple different activities. There's activities that can be done alone by the student, but there's also activities to be done in a family setting. There's activities to be done with your peers, so with other students. And then you'll notice that icon there of the drum, and that is our Indigenous philosophies. So we've brought in some experts from across Canada to help give us some guidance. In fact, we have some really great information in our physical activity section from your very own Norbert McCurdy's. We have some great information in our tobacco section from Deanna Johnson, who is based up in Flin Flon and provides support to some of the First Nation communities out there. So we have really worked hard to include some culturally significant information around Indigenous health philosophies and activities. And you can see those in the book when you see that drum icon in the corner. Next slide, please. So the good news is that it's very easy to register for these books. And again, if you can do this sooner rather than later, because if you do it in May, you can enter to win that draw that I was talking about that we're having for 25 pieces of sporting equipment for your school. So it's a really great opportunity to do that. What you'll do is you visit hskids.ca, that's the website. When you get there, you first step have to register. So I have a picture there of where you click to register and create yourself an account so that we know who you are. Then after you've registered, you go back and log in. Step number 2, you log back in, and then once you log in, you can easily order your booklets. And because I'm talking to you today, you don't have to do the 15-minute online training. You can go straight to post-workshop order. So that's a bonus for you. Definitely, if you want to do the training, you can do that. It just gives you more insight into the different areas of the book. Next page, please. So once you go to the website, you'll see this pathway. And this pathway is the training. It helps educators to understand the different sections of the book and what's found in each section. So you can definitely do this, but I'm going to go over it very briefly with you right now so that you don't have to if you don't have time right now, and you can always go back and any time when you're using the books, you can go back to this path and click to learn a little bit more. Next slide. So what you'll do then to skip that journey is where you see those arrows pointing, post-workshop order. So today is our workshop. You'll click post-workshop order. It will ask you what workshop you had and who your presenter was. So my name is Amanda Nash. You can put that in. You can just put Heart and Stroke in, whatever's easiest for you. And then just say that it was at the Lighting the Fire conference. And then you can go right straight to that order and place that order, which takes about 2 weeks. So if you order today, you will get them in June so that you can use them for the remaining of this year or save them for next year and start fresh in September. Next slide, please. And thank you. I saw a comment pop up. I'm sure, sorry, it's gone already. There we go. Rolled Roldan. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Thank you so much. I appreciate you using the books and the wonderful endorsement. So we know there's some great educators already using this, and we really appreciate that. In the books, you're going to see a variety of topics. So these are the sections of our book. There's the powerful heart and the mighty brain, where you're going to learn about why it's so important to keep our brain and our heart healthy. There is food for fuel, which looks at making healthy food choices and understanding the foods that we eat. Count Your Cubes is a unique section specifically around sugary drinks, because we know that added sugar consumption is quite high, and the number one source of added sugars in North American youth diet is from sugary drinks. So just bringing awareness to what we put into our bodies and highlighting the importance of water in multiple areas of our life. The section on Keep Moving is all about your body. So we know the physical activity guidelines for children, 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day. A little bit of information in there about the guidelines, but really focusing on the fun of it, how to move your body, how it feels when you move your body, using your different muscles. And then again, thank you to Norbert Meckerdes. We have some really great information about traditional games in there as well. The Air We Breathe is our section on tobacco, again, talking about commercial versus traditional tobacco, but then also will be enhanced with more information around vaping. Stop Marketing to Kids is really great. It's a section that teaches kids to understand marketing and how it influences us. We have this billion-dollar machine that really puts things out there, and they're so good at knowing how to make us think and feel certain ways, really invoking emotional responses in children. And so this section is going to teach kids how to understand marketing, especially when it comes to areas of our health, like marketing of food. As the Drum Beats is our mindfulness section. So that's going to look at our connection to the land, to animals, to our community, and how we can take some of that stress and the burden away by really connecting to the land, the environment, the animals, and the people. And then there's some recipes, and there is a library. So let's take one more second to go into each of these areas with some background information for you as the educator. Next slide, please. So the powerful heart. In this section, we really talk about what the heart does and how important it is to keep it healthy. So we know our heart has a really important job, pumping oxygen and nutrients around the body. For us as an adult, our heart beats around 60 to 100 times. For children, it's a little bit higher than that per minute. So in the book, we talk about understanding your heart, taking your pulse when you're sitting, taking your pulse when you're standing, taking your pulse when you're doing activity, to really feel how our heartbeat gets stronger and our heart pumps more when our body's moving, and why every part of the body needs that blood and that oxygen from the blood that the heart can pump around. It's also really interesting to share some really cool facts with the kids, which are found in the book. So for example, how much blood is pumped through your heart in just 1 minute. And we know for children and youth, in just 1 minute, in our tiny heart, about the size of your fist, you have about 4 to 8 liters of blood pumped through that heart. So that's a lot of blood going through the heart, that small little heart, in just 1 minute. So sometimes even having the visuals of what 4 to 8 liters looks like, it really helps the kids to understand the science aspect of it, but also really value the role that our heart plays and how important it is. Next slide, please. We have a similar section. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this one. So this was for you, just reminding everyone, especially during the pandemic right now, a medical emergency is still a medical emergency, even during COVID-19. And so we want you to understand the warning signs for a heart attack. And if you or someone around you is experiencing the warning signs of a heart attack, still so important to call 911 or your local emergency number, even during the pandemic. Our hospitals, our nursing stations, our health centers, they are ready for these medical emergencies. And so we have seen across North America, we have seen a decrease in attendance at the hospital, nursing station, health center for people with heart attack and with stroke, which is a huge concern, because we know that people are still experiencing these medical emergencies, and without getting help as soon as possible, you could have poor outcomes longer term. So if you or someone around you experiences chest discomfort. It could be a heaviness, a burning, a pressure in the chest. Upper body discomfort, specifically in the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, or the upper back. Lightheadedness, nausea, and that might feel like a strong indigestion or even actually vomiting. Shortness of breath, and that cold, clammy sweat. Any combination of these symptoms that's not normal for you, you know your body best, call 911 or your local emergency number. Next slide, please. And I want to talk in a similar way about the brain. So in our booklets, we talk about the mighty brain and how it really is the control center for how we think, feel, communicate, and move. But then also important to know that the blood that gets pumped up to the brain is so important for the brain to do that job. And if that blood flow is interrupted, less oxygen getting to the brain can be very harmful. So learning the signs of a stroke is also very important. And as we go into June, next month is Stroke Month. And I have we have some really great ads coming out on NCI radio and on different TV stations. So hopefully you'll see more of this, and it will remind you of this conversation today about learning the signs of a stroke. FAST is the acronym. Face, is it drooping? Arms, can you raise them? Speech, is it slurred or jumbled? And time to call 911 or your local emergency number right away, because time is brain. And so this is so vital. Again, even during a pandemic, the longer you wait to get care, even if those symptoms do go away, because it might be what we call a mini stroke, a TIA. So even if those symptoms go away in a couple of seconds or minutes, you still want to get the proper care, because it's so important to ensure that we can prevent another stroke from happening. And if you are having a stroke, we need to get that proper intervention to get that oxygen back up to the brain. Next slide, please. So that was some background information for you about a little bit about what's in the books, but also on how medical emergencies are still medical emergencies right now. What's really great news, though, is that 80% of your risk for premature heart disease and stroke can be prevented through lifestyle. And that's where these books come in really helpful, because if we can instill those healthy lifestyles into our children and youth now, we know that they'll continue those habits into adulthood and set them up for a great success to hopefully prevent or delay a heart or a brain event from happening. So what is lifestyle? Well, lifestyle would be living smoke-free, being physically active, choosing a variety of nutritious foods and beverages, limiting alcohol use, reducing stress, knowing and controlling your blood pressure, achieving a healthy weight and maintaining that healthy weight, and managing diabetes if you have it. Let's look at a few of those that are highlighted in the Heart Smart Kids books in more detail. Next slide, please. Food for Fuel is one section of the book. And in this section, we talk about eating a healthy, balanced diet. We talk about whole natural foods and limiting highly processed foods. The focus is really on a variety of fruits and vegetables, whole grains and alternatives, and a variety of protein sources. Very exciting that for National Indigenous Peoples Day this year, we are going to be releasing 3 storyteller videos on our Heart Smart Kids website. And these will be made available for educators to use to enhance the lessons that come with these activity books. One is from our very own Manitoba, Peter Thomas, and he's going to be talking about hunting, specifically about hunting geese. And so he talks a little bit about growing up and the tradition of hunting in his family. He talks about being raised up north and respecting the cycle of the animal and the different stage of life the animal is in. So very, very, very great information. So we're really excited to have these 3 storyteller videos coming out that all talk a little bit more about how eating from the land is part of their holistic journey, and then complements the information that's found in the Food for Fuel section of our book. Next slide, please. The sugary drink section of the book talks about added sugars, specifically from beverages. And I wanted to share some information with you as adults about this. And what does it actually mean? How much sugar are we drinking or eating? And when does it matter? When we're talking about added sugar, we're talking specifically about the sugars that are added to your food and beverage, not the natural ones that are found in things like beans or milk or fruit, for example. So when we're talking about those added sugars, Heart and Stroke recommends that no more than 10% of your calories to come from added sugar. And to put that into perspective, that's going to be no more than 12 teaspoons or 12 sugar cubes, like I have on the screen here. So that seems like a lot, but when we actually take a step back and look at what we consume from our drinks, it's very easy to get more than 12 teaspoons. And that's just from our beverages alone. That doesn't include the foods that have these added sugars. What's a concern is that we tend to drink our sugary drinks very quickly, which means we have a high amount of added sugar going into your body in a very short period of time, and it doesn't actually affect your hunger. So that means that regardless of how much we've drank, we're still going to eat the same amount of food. And unfortunately, many of these sugary drinks, they don't have very many nutrients attached to them outside of that sugar. So example, 1 can of pop has 10 teaspoons of sugar. But sugar is found in many other drinks that are kind of hidden behind health claims. So things like fruit beverage, fruit juice, sports drink, energy drink, those fancy coffees and teas, they're all going to be quite high in sugar. And so we just want to be aware of how often and how much of these beverages we're consuming, and then really look back to water to be the main beverage of choice. Next slide, please. So when we talk about water, there's a whole section in the Heart Smart Kids books looking at why we want to choose water most, recognizing that water is a highly respected element in the Indigenous culture, and that most of our body is made out of water. Water is very important for life, and if you don't have safe drinking water in your community, we do have information in the books about making sure that you're looking to choose the drinks with the lowest sugar amount, because we do recognize the unfortunate situation we have across Canada right now, where some communities don't have access to safe drinking water, which is something Heart and Stroke does advocate for at multiple different levels as well. So outside of just the education piece, we do have some advocacy that includes this message for you as well. Really understanding the human rights aspect of that. Going back to those storytelling videos, one of our storytellers, he's a hoop dancer from BC. He talks about water in his video and how water is life. And so we have some great, again, storytelling visuals that are coming out that can reflect these messages from our book. Next slide, please. In our Keep Moving section, we talk again not only about those guidelines and different types of activities, we have multiple different games, but we also talk about social gatherings, ceremony, music, dance, all enhancing the way that we move our bodies and the benefits to that. And so even now during a pandemic where we are distanced, practicing the song and the dance that can really help to keep your community alive and have benefits not only for your body, but for your mind and for your spirit. In the book, there's games and activities about making different instruments, about doing different types of dances, at the beat, make a drum, make a rattle. Also with a disclaimer that we recognize that different First Nations across Canada have different cultural values attached to things like drum. So we do also encourage you to know as an educator, to know your community and respect the cultures of your community when looking at these activities. Next slide, please. In the Air We Breathe section, it really does focus on commercial tobacco. So cigarette smoke can contain more than 4,000 toxic chemicals. And we know that the carbon monoxide from cigarettes can actually decrease the oxygen in your blood. So we talk a little bit about that with the kids. There's a few different activities in there. But we're adding a new section on vaping. That's going to be, we're working on that this summer for next year. And that's really important because we know that the nicotine in cigarettes and vapes can have some effects on your heart rate, your blood pressure. We know that they can also have effects on your lungs and your heart and your brain in general. So this is an example here of an activity that we've developed around vaping and how to stay safe and say no to vaping if you are feeling pressure from others. So right now, these activities aren't in the book, but the great news is we have them downloadable. So when you go to Heart Smart Kids website, on the top banner, you'll see Heart Smart Kids at Home, and it's full of downloadable activities that we've developed over the past year that can be used by parents or by educators. And this is just one example of many activities that we have up there. Next slide, please. The As the Drum Beat section, as I mentioned, it incorporates Indigenous health philosophies and our connection to the environment and the community. The purpose of this section is really to address mental and emotional health in different fun activities that can help students, to reduce their worries and their stress, which again is so valuable right now in our current environment. For you as educators, I just listed a few different stress busting tips. First, so important to identify the source of your stress. And thank you, John, for you love the illustrations. I love that too. And we've heard that from the kids, and we're always open to more feedback if you have anything else you want to share and include for illustrations or content. So for stress management, the first step is to identify your stressor, because if you don't know what's causing you that worry, you can't necessarily act on that. So identifying what your personal stressors are, which are different for everybody. So what I find to be worrisome might not be worrisome for you, and that's okay. It's a very personal thing, but we want to identify what it is so we can look at the tools in our toolbox to help decrease that stress. It's when stress becomes chronic, so longer term, that it can start to affect our health and increase our risk for heart disease and for stroke. So different things that you can do, different tools in your toolbox, being physically active, sharing your feelings, taking time for yourself, making people laugh, taking time to make yourself laugh, eating well, setting yourself up for that success. Next slide, please. I'm just noting the time. I have 2 minutes left, so I'm going to power through here. Here's 2 examples of activities that we created for Heart Smart Kids at Home. And these are both, again, found on the Heart Smart Kids at Home section of our website. We made these last year for National Indigenous Peoples Day, and we're going to have new ones coming out this year. So really focusing on those Indigenous health philosophies and working with some of our Indigenous leaders in this area to create these great handouts. Next slide. And then finally, we have the section with recipes and a library that can connect you with other resources that you may find helpful. Next slide. So now to bring that all back together, this is an example of all the different types of activities. So thank you again for that message about there being some really great visuals. We've worked hard with people from different First Nations across Canada to try and get visual representation for all communities, because we recognize that there's so many different nations across Canada that have different environments and different culture. And so we're trying to really ensure that you can feel a connection with the images through the activities. And again, always open to feedback and suggestions. Next slide, please. So again, the website is www.hskids.ca. First, you register, then you log in. And once you've logged in, you can go to that post-workshop order button to get those free resources. You can order one for every single child that you work with. So that means you can go and order 30 for your class. If you are, say you're a gym teacher and you work with the whole school, go ahead and order for the whole school, because we have these free resources that we want to get into the hands of children to help you as an educator and to help our children learn these valuable life lessons. If you order by the end of May, you can enter the 25th anniversary draw. Next slide, please. So again, post-workshop order, you can definitely take that path, that training path if you want to enhance what we've talked about today. But if you want to skip that for right now, post-workshop order is where to go. Next slide. So finally, I wanted to just, again, talk about that draw, because it is the 25th anniversary of the Heart Smart Kids program. We are giving 25 pieces of sports equipment to 25 schools. To put that in perspective, right now we have about 500 educators across Canada using Heart Smart Kids. So that's a very good chance that you can win this. So even if everybody enters, which probably won't happen, 25 out of 500 is not that odd. So please, if you are using the book already, or if you register today to order these books for your students, enter the draw, because we have this equipment and we want to give it away. There's some really cool things in our prize package. Like you can get 5 scooters, like little scooters that the kids can ride. There's some really cool soccer balls. Lots and lots of great stuff that can enhance your sports equipment in your school for when we do come back together and can have that in-person gym class. So draw ends at the end of May. So if you haven't registered and ordered books, please do so now. so that then you can go and you can get some of the sports equipment for your school. Next slide, please. And so finally, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. It's a wonderful relationship that we have with MRNEC, Manitoba. I said it wrong there, MF-NERC. And we wanted to really say thank you again. If you have any troubles registering, if you have any problems at all or any questions about the resource, please reach out to me by phone or by email, and I'd love to help you. If you have any feedback, share it with me. And again, if you have any stories that you want to share about your experience using the books, we always love testimonials. It helps us to get more funding so we can continue to provide this wonderful resource to you for free of charge. So all feedback is very much appreciated. And with that, I just wanted to say thank you again, Miigwech. I really appreciate being here and having this opportunity, and I look forward to hopefully connecting with many of you in the future.
Always great to have HeartSmart with us. We've appreciated your presence over the years.
Thank you so much. Bye.
And I wanted to say thank you to all of you. I'm going to hand it over to Tina Keeper. She's hosting the closing ceremonies, and we'll see you all again very soon at Lighting the Fire. Hi, Tina. I just wanted to let you know that we couldn't hear you, so you have to unmute your mic.
Oh. I am so sorry, everybody.
Technical difficulties, that's how it goes.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to just once again say what a fantastic conference this was. It was very inspiring, and it was very, very emotional and also very powerful. And so I'd like to thank all the presenters, and I would like to thank the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Center for doing such a wonderful job on a virtual conference. And I'm sorry that I did not mute my, that I muted my mic. We are now doing the closing ceremonies, and so I would like to invite Charles Cochran. He is the Executive Director of the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Center to share with you his closing remarks. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate all the hard work that everybody has done today. So, you know, it's been a very good 3 days. Lots of very good speakers, lots of good presentations. The entertainment was awesome. Of course, the work that people have done, not only the ones we see, such as say MC Tina Keeper, but also the people in the background, and of course Joy Keeper being a big part of that, but also a shout out to Rachel and Danielle and the DLE team. But I'll also say it's more than that. It's also all of those people that have been involved in presenting, and that includes people in the language and culture department. So thank you, Davin, and your team for supporting that. Also, the support coming from Inclusive Education through Lorna Prince and Don Shackle and her team, as well as all the departments, whether it's the Inclusive Education Services, clinical services, training initiatives, and certainly our operations departments, our Wapascua Virtual High School. I'm just thinking out loud here, everybody else that's been involved in supporting all the work. So thank you again. But I do want to say this wouldn't be done without all the schools that participate, all the participants that participated in. It's been a success. I've seen already data that shows we've been well over 1,000 people as presenters, as speakers, as participants. So again, it totally falls in line with all the numbers that we've had in person, and it's certainly working out in terms of our online. I do have, maybe I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag. We are planning on another, possibly a one-day conference in early September, just to share with the schools about all our services in terms of the MFA ERC. So information like that will be coming out in the next little while. So again, it's been there's a lot of people involved in that. I thank Nellie Ann for her, Elder Nellie Ann for her opening prayers, and Victor Sisazi for the drum song, and certainly looking at the entertainers, certainly Gator Bolio, Mikey Harris, Wanique Horn-Miller, of course, Winston Watney, our great friend, and all of those, and please don't, it just, the names, just, there's so many great performances this past few days. So again, I will say again, our thoughts go out to a lot of the communities that are going by with all the challenges that are happening in the community, certainly COVID, suicides, fires, and also again, those communities, again, we acknowledge and pray for the safety of all the children, the community members. Certainly, I know some of the communities have just recently been evacuated. So again, I didn't really introduce myself for those. My name is Charles Cochran. I'll say it in my language, or my Anishinaabe name is Kapmashing Mikise. Chigen Ashkichi Nandana Anishinaabe. Kaka quick is young, don't you? Though up Chingichi Nandana Sagon Skip Twanja Anishinaabe one. Yeah, my Anishinaabe name is Flying Bald Eagle from the Ebb and Flow First Nation, proud, and again, a proud Ojibwe, proud Anishinaabe speaker of our language. And I've been the executive director for the past 11 months, and I certainly want to acknowledge our past education director, Lauren Keeper, certainly built the infrastructure of our organization together with a number of others, late Gwen Merrick, late Shirley Fontaine, Shirley Malcolm Fontaine, my cousin, and certainly others, late Sharon Fiddler, just thinking late John Peter Day, and all the others that have been involved in, and certainly the team that I work with. I certainly will acknowledge my associate executive director, Virginia Arthurson, for all her work and in terms of supporting the work we all do, as well as other team members in our senior team, George Morasti, Dolores Daniels, Howard Burston, Davin Dumas, Lorna Prince, and others. I'm thinking out loud here, and again, I speak with excitement. So that being said, again, I do want to acknowledge some of the schools. So we did receive a special message, and I really was very impressed. Received a special message from Principal Mian Irfan and Vice Principal Lena Whiteway at Poplar River School, also from Mike Bear and Debbie Bittern at Jordan's Principal, and Director of Education Emil Mason at Poplar River First Nation. They want to acknowledge that all school and George principal staff for their attendance at 3 days lighting fire, and that the work at MFN ERC does not go unnoticed. So that being said, I seen a picture of the school staff in the gymnasium with the video of our conference on a screen, and certainly all the staff social distancing. So that goes without saying, very certainly looking after the safety aspect. So a shout out to the schools, Poplar River School, but I'm also going to name very, very quickly all the other schools that have participated. And I'm going to try this with a little bit of time sensitive here, but also making sure, I hope I spell all the names correctly. And if I don't, I will make sure I will learn. So I'm going to go with Abalakak Thunder Swift Memorial School, Charles Sinclair School, Chemawawan School, Chief Charles Audie Memorial School, Chief Clifford Linklegs Anishinaabe School. Again, I'm going to name all the schools that we have seen that have participated in our conference. So I'll continue. Chief Sam Cook Mamiwi Education Center, Cross Lake First Nation, Donald Lamo School, Eben Flow School, Jordan's principal, Fisher River High School, Fox Lake Native Spiritual School, Garden Hill First Nation School, George Knott School, George Saunders Memorial School, Gidoo School, God's Lake Narrows First Nation School, Indian Springs School, Isaac Bolio Memorial School, Kisikoinen School, Lake Manitoba School, Lake St. Martin School, Lawrence Sinclair Memorial School, Little Sask HHME School, Long Plains School, Mikisu High School, Miskosipi School, Neil Kimach Memorial School, Nisitue Neo Otinawa Collegiate, Otiskiuen Kiniskamatakamic. And I don't know that would mean school. So, Otter Nelson River School, Oxford House Elementary School, Pegwa Central School, Peter Assey Memorial School, Petit Kashmir Memorial School, Pinemutang School, Poplar River Elementary School, Red Sucker Lake School, Saging Anishinaabe Community School, Saging Anishinaabe High School, Saging Junior High School, Saskatoon School, Sergeant Tommy Prince School, Sioux Valley Dakota High School, St. Teresa Point Elementary School, St. Teresa Point High School, St. Teresa Point Middle School, Tatiopa Masawaya Tipi Sioux Valley School, Wamadi Yataki School, and all of those and other schools that I may have left out and would not be intentional. So that being said, oh man, it's been such a blast. Again, I do want to say in terms of closing, there is actually, I will make a couple announcements on winners. So if there's a drum roll, wait, that's my drum roll. Winners for the laptop is Gloria Richard from Saskatoon School in Matthias Cologne First Nation. So congrats, Gloria, for the winning the laptop. Congrats. And for the iPad is Sasha Blacksmith, Tatiopa Mazoea, Tipi, Sioux Valley School, Sioux Valley First Nation. Congrats to everybody. Again, it's been such a blast with all that has been happening. Take all of this in, and certainly if you look at how we look at providing supports and services, technology is going to be exactly that, a big part of it. So thank you very much. I'm going to hand it over back to Tina and their MC. So really happy and proud that this has all come together, and certainly looking at it for the best interest of our First Nations. And again, get your vaccinations. I've done mine, both of them, so I'm like happy about it. I'm hoping come September, we're able to go out to all the schools again, and hopefully all the vaccinations have taken place. Well, we are working at it within our organization, but also hopefully all of them in the community. So let's all be safe and get chimi wech, get chige unongo mana gishkadyan. I am very happy. Thank you.
Get you Gwetch, Charles Cochran.
Thank you.
Your team has built a nest. It has been a wonderful, wonderful conference. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you too. Thank you, everybody.
I would like to just once again say to everybody, Kichimik for this wonderful experience. It has felt really, really powerful, and an amazing job done by Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Center. And I love that Charles Cochran mentioned all the schools. So to all of you that were out there, you know, our thoughts, our prayers are with all of our community members, and to all of our educators, Kichimigwech, thank you for the jobs that you do. And I'd now like to invite our next is going to be our closing prayer. And so this is the closing prayer for the whole conference. And I'd like to invite Nzux Nelian Cromarty or Nelian Cromarty to join us. And she will do the closing of the conference, the prayer. Miigwech.
Thank you, Tina. I like that. Well, it's been a wonderful experience for me. You people did a great job with this conference. I was sort of wondering how it was going to be because of this new experience I had with this technical stuff that has been used for this conference. It's amazing to see the progress that has been evolved from the years of teaching I had. I remember when I first started, I was telling somebody this morning, my means of communication when I first started teaching to the South was a two-way radio. That was my means the first time I started. It's amazing to see how much the communities has progressed in the communication system between communities. And also the great work that has been done and shared by our own people. It's amazing. Like when I'm teaching, each time I greet somebody, I tell them, you are somebody. You can do things. You can do wonders. And not all of us are the same. We each have different gifts that we can share with one another. And if we learn how to share things, how to accept things together, we can make changes in this world. And I enjoyed listening to the different presentations. And it never ceased to amaze me. All the knowledge that has been shared these past 3 days. I always say your learning never stops. At my age, I'm still learning. I learn from different people. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have these people around me. It's a great gift to be able to work together and make sure that we all proceed into a healthy lifestyle as a native person, that you don't lose these things. And as I always say, language is the most important thing in your life. To know who you are, to really know who you are, you have to know your language in order to connect to that land that you have been meant to be in. All the words in your language expresses everything that you need to know so you can live side by side with every creation that surrounds you. And with that in mind, I want to say thank you, because I think most presenters touched on those different elements that we need in our lives as Native people, as Indigenous people. And you have to, in my years of working, I've learned to change even the words of our descriptions as Native people. Started off with being an Indian. Anyways, with that, I wish you all health, wisdom, and knowledge from this conference. I'm going to pray now. Keep in mind all these things that we have mentioned. Semanatu. Nananakuman. Kagis Wijishang. Quayak Chipam Panchagate, where Kagis Paksenimiang, Ewi Mama Winyang, Mama Ewi Wichitiang, Chikanahamaziang, Nina and Kawi Kanamongata, Apanundisak. Anakagis Pamotuang, Quayak, Chiki Pamat the weapon, who when the Gagano and Mangata Apanundisak. Egage gun chuani keang. Egage gun chunagatamang. Gagi minsiang. We guys madiang. We kaya patstange madiang. So went to go in the Tantamago. Chipamotuang quayak. Nazaki weonan. Kaya naman stuang dehna. Bayak chismati unang gita wanak. Apano di sa kawi pamunang gita. Kapamunang gita nung kagi sa. Bayak sa nang gamati unam. Buta naman chuno kanagat stumun bayak. Egam na kaya sa peso kwat. We kagi sa minato. Kekunan kepemutuat. Tweet chawat wichen sniwa. Kakena kekun. We meniawan kaya. Egam mina utatak matazon. Kwenangakena. Egatwani yang. Suika kwe pemutu ang kakena. Sige makagano apa makuman. Kakena kwena kapaninsak. Kawitan kwimangata. Kapamunan gata. Wisa wenim snam kakena. Ninong kagi min siyang kwen kwiwan. Kakena kwenwak. Mewat kapaman kwiyat. Egam na kwenwak. Asegagag man kwiyat. Menik. Bukwena kegagagan kwiyat. Suwinta muat. Sumami na mawat. Kwena na kiapat skap man kwiyat. Egam na kwenan kanamatan kwiyat. Sumami na mawat. We. Kakis pemutwat. Kakis wapan damwat. Pematazon. Basta tsaka kwezo tsaka te. Ewa keki naunt. Suihka ni keak. Kwena ke teatro ta kai ke pikna magwa kai puinta magwa ke mat. Egam nau kwena azai kai stwat. Mat zonwa. Kai naganda kwak. Azai. Ya kwana ke winoa kai minta. And kyun. Isota na eko kisto na ke winam na kay bakit naman ta ito tamuats sinwak ukwenak at kangkawan na matsawa sa pinunsak sinwak kiapit ihantawen na makwa ukwenak kapman kyat egam na kawian na man kyat egatwan kyat keho sawenam snam tanto tamago kakanayaw yan sa sawin na mekwa. Semanto tanto tamago. Minak. Mamat nandiyan. Mas kawadiwan. Egagay ko na. Sinanapo ni kandamots. Pistik tsimsak. We. Kawihan na naksikate. Kiapt. Apan sa kakanin damots. Nampakten kena tuisa na mata. When nagkakipitan damwatske, ekam na when nagkaki wintamaki watske kun. Kagi wapantahiwe watske sa kaskatwatske kun. Kakina when nagsawin na mak. Ekam min eka majiah kwana when mutan huyuno. Bisawin na mak when nagkakaki Nantais Gaya Kuwats. Visawenamek Jahak. Visawenamek Gakana and Sinwak. Gananakumako Gagi means young. There's a Gizo Nang where God Gagizwa when that piece young. Mayak. Gananakumako. Nakakagiwa up and they young. Gegunen West. So when Dagadon Gagi means young. Guys a Gaka piece young. Ekwam we Kawima Jaman. Kinong. Kawima Jaman sa. Kawawa pandaman mo nakakipandama. Ruta pandama kekunan hiwe. Keki sapo tuwa kumake kunjumaju tuwa. Kawawe na toman kumamit niyo jagan. Kawichi kum, kawichi kum semanto. Amen. Oh, thank you.
Oh, Marianne, that was so beautiful. I thank you on behalf of the conference for blessing us, for joining us, for sharing your wisdom. And I wish you all the best to you and your family.
Same to you. Same to everybody. Best to everybody.
Miigwech, Marianne. Wow, beautiful prayers, beautiful songs today. I would now like to invite Victor Sazazi. He is going to do our closing drum song. Masicho, Victor.
Masicho. Nestan zedun zeneges Daria Nijan Diri Kwandik on Bekessuret conference. Then go there at Donald Kanu. That's a qui Honel Kani Danedan, Hili Babaji, Nati, Nunt, Azedi, Sansan, Beniuni, Mayaya Tia. Don't zenege Nijan Chet Desuts and Siati, what's in the Son Tenes. Hotel nano talut hos was salut in ade see that on the so hushe masin in a sense as a dari could do Nijam Chit Deze, Nijam Treaty One territory, Métis territories on that district on Red River masin in a sense as a dari. I want to say thank you for inviting me to be part of this drumming for the Lighting the Fire conference. Thank you for the elder, for the closing prayer, and also to all the presenters and say I'm honored to be part of this here at the this land of Treaty One territory, Métis, and I come from Northlands, Dene Songhene First Nation. And I reside here and along the Red River here, and I'm very honored to take part in this and honoring all the educators and all the students during this pandemic. You know, we live in a different time. We've been living in a virtual reality since last year, so I'm very honored to be asked to help out with the drumming here. And we continue, teach our young ones, from my home fireplace to your home fireplace. I'll share a song again here. This song comes from my people, my relatives back home in the north, Dene, and been passed on from generation to generation. My uncles sang these songs, my grandfather sang these songs, and we carry these songs and around the sacred fire. And when we come together like this, so we usually close out with the dancing and around the fire. But from your home fireplace, may the Great Spirit be upon you, each and every one of you. And thank you to Manitoba First Nation Education Resource Center to ask me to be part of this Drummond. Thank you, everybody, all the staffs and all the everybody, teachers right across Manitoba. Asicho. Masicho.
Masicho, Victor Sasazi, for that beautiful, beautiful song to close our conference. And I'd like everybody to know that I am on the Treaty 1 territory, and I'm so honored to have been with you. I'd now like to invite back our Executive Director, Charles Cochran of the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Center for closing remarks.
Thank you. I certainly want to thank. Sorry about that. Sorry, having difficult technical difficulties. I think. Thank you, everybody. I do want to acknowledge the elders for the closing prayer, Nellie Ann. I totally appreciate it, as well as as Victor for the drum song. I do want to indicate that in my excitement of my message, I do want to actually acknowledge two people within our organization that are a big part of our organization as well, and the departments and programs they look after. Certainly, Dr. Nora Murdoch. I certainly want to acknowledge her work in the school system and their staff. And I actually just prior to the closing ceremony here, I just came out of a graduation ceremony, which was provided through the Manitoba First Nation school system, and it was actually certifying First Nation education directors and principals in a First Nation leadership development program. So congrats for the education directors and principals from schools, and certainly want to look at expanding that to other First Nation directors and principals. So thank you very much. Again, it's done through the Asper School of Business. So congrats and thanks, Dr. Murdoch. Also, Dr. Shirley Myron, the work that she does in our training initiatives department, and certainly looking at certifying and continuing to graduate First Nation staff, school staff, as well as MFNERC staff in specialized programs. So thank you very much. And in closing, again, thank you. I do want to indicate that certainly normally after a drum song, that this is the time we shake hands and we tell each other safe travels. And remember that these days we will be shaking hands again soon. So I thank you very much, everybody. Everybody have a good day and good weekend and a good long weekend, and stay safe, everybody. Thank you.